He is the U.S. high school record holder, the youngest U.S. track and field Olympian ever, running on the 4x400 meter relay in Paris, representing the United States, Quincy Wilson.
This 17-year-old high schooler just destroyed a field of Olympic champions and ran the 4th fastest 400 meters in the world this year, proving that age is just a number when you have that much raw talent.
And that time of 4:10, ladies and gentlemen, that equals the 4th fastest time in the world this year.
On July 12th in Memphis, Tennessee, Quincy Wilson stepped into lane 5 at the Ed Murphey Classic and did something that left the entire track world speechless. He ran 44.10 seconds in the 400 meters, smashing his own world under 18 record and becoming the 4th fastest man on the planet this year. To put that in perspective, he just tied the personal best of Matthew Hudson-Smith, who won Olympic silver in Paris just last year. But here's what makes this even more incredible. Wilson didn't just beat a random field of college kids or amateur runners, he destroyed a lineup that included Stephen Gardiner, the reigning Olympic 400-meter champion from the Bahamas. He outran Bryce Deadmon, who was right there with him on that Olympic gold medal relay team. He beat multiple Olympic medalists and world-class professionals while still having homework to turn in on Monday morning. Wilson has been making headlines since he was 16, when he became the youngest American male ever to make an Olympic track team. At the Paris Olympics last summer, he helped Team USA win gold in the men's 4x400 relay by running in the preliminary rounds. That alone would be enough to make most teenagers happy for a lifetime, but Wilson was just getting started. The crazy part is that this record-breaking performance came out of nowhere in terms of his 2025 season. Earlier this year, Wilson's best time was only 45.27 seconds. Track fans started wondering if maybe the Olympic hype was too much too soon. In May, he even lost a high-profile race to another high schooler, Jaden Horton-Mims, which had people questioning whether Wilson had hit a wall in his development.
He was nowhere in this race at the start, and he is in it to win it coming off the turn. Wilson stepping on the inside of his lane line. Got to be careful. Quincy now up even with Jaden Horton-Mims. Down the home straightaway, a neck-and-neck battle. Horton-Mims, Wilson, Jaden Horton-Mims takes it. 45-24, U.S. #1.
His coach, Joe Lee from Bullis School in Maryland, kept telling him the same thing over and over. As Wilson explained after the race, "My coach has been telling me, stay on our process, do what we got to do." That patience and trust in the training plan just paid off in a massive way. When Wilson lined up in Memphis, nobody expected what was about to happen. He was in lane 5, right next to Stephen Gardiner in lane 6. For those who don't know, Gardiner ran 43.48 to win Olympic gold in Tokyo, so having him right there should have been intimidating for any teenager. But Wilson had different plans. He came out of the blocks like he was shot from a cannon. By the time they hit the first turn, Wilson had already made up the stagger on Gardiner and was running shoulder to shoulder with the Olympic champion. That's when everyone in the stadium realized something special might be happening. Wilson flew down the backstretch with complete confidence, looking smooth and relaxed despite the blazing pace. Coming into the home straight, Gardiner actually pulled up and didn't finish the race, probably dealing with an injury. But Bryce Deadmon, running in lane 3, was trying to close the gap on Wilson. Here's the thing about the 400 meters that makes Wilson's performance so impressive. It's not just about speed, it's about speed endurance. Most sprinters can run fast for 200 meters, but maintaining that pace for a full lap around the track is where champions separate themselves from everyone else. Wilson not only maintained his speed, he actually had another gear to kick into. In the final 50 meters, while other runners were tying up and struggling, Wilson pulled away even more. He crossed the finish line in 44.10, a full 0.3 of a second ahead of Deadmon, who ran 44.39 for second place. In sprinting terms, that's a huge margin of victory. After the race, Wilson was buzzing with excitement. He said, "If you go to see my races before, I haven't been getting out. My coach has been telling me, stay on our process, do what we got to do, and I went out there and shot out like a bullet." The time itself tells an incredible story. Wilson's previous personal best was 44.20, which he ran exactly 51 weeks earlier at a meet in Gainesville, Florida. That time already made him the fastest high schooler in history and set a world under 18 record. But 44.10 takes things to a completely different level. To understand just how fast this is, we need to look at the all-time lists. Wilson now owns 6 of the 10 fastest times ever run by an under 18 athlete. Think about that for a second. He's not just the fastest teenager ever, he's dominated the category completely. On the under 20 all-time list, Wilson is now second only to Steve Lewis, who ran 43.87 to win Olympic gold at the 1988 Seoul Olympics when he was 19 years old. Wilson is now just 77 hundredths of a second away from that record, which has stood for almost 40 years. But here's what's really mind-blowing about Wilson's progression. Most elite athletes improve gradually over many years. Wilson is taking massive chunks off his personal best every season. Just 3 years ago as a freshman, he was running in the mid-40s like most good high school sprinters. His improvement curve is unlike anything we've seen in the sport. The timing of this breakthrough couldn't be better. In just 3 weeks, Wilson will compete at the USA Track and Field Championships in Eugene, Oregon. The top 3 finishers in the 400 meters will make Team USA for the World Championships in Tokyo this September. Looking at the entry list for nationals, Wilson now has the 3rd fastest personal best among American men this year. Only Caleb McRae, who ran 43.91, and Jackery Patterson, who ran 43.98, have gone faster. But here's the key difference. Both of those guys are professional athletes in their mid-20s who have been training full-time for years. Wilson is still attending high school classes and doing homework between training sessions. He's not even 18 years old yet, and he's already competitive with the best 400-meter runners in the world. The field at nationals will be loaded with talent. Chris Bailey, who won the World Indoor title this year, has run 44.15 in 2025. Vernon Norwood has a personal best that ties Wilson at 44.10. Bryce Deadmon, who Wilson just beat in Memphis, has a career best of 44.22 from when he won the U.S. title in 2023. But here's what's changed. Wilson is no longer the underdog story. He's proven that he belongs at the highest level of the sport. His coach Joe Lee has been building toward this moment all season, deliberately keeping Wilson's racing schedule light in the early months to peak at the right time. The mental side of Wilson's development might be even more impressive than his physical improvement. After that loss to Horton Mims in May, a lot of teenagers might have panicked or lost confidence. Wilson took it as motivation to get better. He's also dealing with a level of fame that most high schoolers never experience. Wilson has nearly 400,000 followers on Instagram and a shoe deal with New Balance. He admits that the fame and everything has gone up and escalated, but he's learned to handle both the praise and the criticism. Wilson said this about the attention: "You'll have the goods and you'll have the bad." But those are the things that make Quincy Wilson. The path to the World Championships is clear. If Wilson can finish in the top 3 at nationals, he'll make his first senior World Championship team at just 17 years old. Given what we just saw in Memphis, that's looking more and more likely. Beyond this year, Wilson's future looks incredibly bright. The 2028 Olympics will be held in Los Angeles, giving him a home Olympics when he'll be just 21 years old and likely in his prime. If he continues improving at this rate, he could be the face of American sprinting for the next decade.
Away cleanly now. Tournament final. Hamilton, Rowett, Hancock, Lee, Gout, Atkinson, Cully, Brady, Peacock. Watch the clock, ladies and gentlemen. He's hit the front, he's hit the straight. Ready to go. 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Gout, Gout,
This 17-year-old kid is already turning heads and breaking records. At such a young age, he's not only dominating the track, but also drawing comparisons to legends like Usain Bolt. With his lightning-fast times and lucrative sponsorship deals, it's clear he's a rising star in the world of athletics. But behind those impressive runs lies a different side of his journey, a side that many don't see. Gout Gout's story isn't just about speed. It's about the roadblocks he faces off the track, the challenges that go far beyond the finish line. This is the story of a teen who runs like lightning, but also runs into struggles no one expected. In a low-key school meet in Queensland, Gout Gout hit the track and stopped the clock at a jaw-dropping 9.94 seconds in the 100 meters. Now, it's important to note, this time was hand-timed, so it won't be officially recognized. But still, it's clear this teen is in form.
Gout Gout has done the unthinkable, breaking the 10-second barrier in the 100 metres twice in one night.
Gout's manager James Stapleton spoke about how this race was more of a warm-up, a stepping stone toward his first senior world championships in Tokyo this September. As Stapleton said, "It's a low-key event, the GPS school meet, but it's good to get a run in. It shows the form he's in for Tokyo in just a few weeks." While this may have been just another warm-up for Gout, to us, it's another reminder of how unstoppable he's become. Now, let's talk about his true specialty, the 200 meters. Over this distance, Gout has already made history, and not just in Australia. In December of last year, he broke the 56-year-old Oceanian 200-meter record previously held by Peter Norman, a monumental moment in Australian athletics history. But that wasn't all. In June, Gout ran a personal best of 20.02 seconds in Ostrava, crushing the competition on his European debut. Despite his exceptional performances, Gout remains incredibly grounded. His official time in the 100 meters is 10.17 seconds, but we all know that's just the beginning for him. His sights are set on Tokyo, where he'll face fierce competitors like Noah Lyles and Letsile Tebogo. So, who exactly is Gout Gout? Born in Queensland to parents from South Sudan, Gout was the youngest of 7 siblings. It wasn't until he was 13 that his extraordinary talent was spotted by his school coach, Di Shepherd, who immediately saw the potential in this young sprinter. Gout's athletic ability, combined with his height, long strides, and incredible work ethic, has led to comparisons with the great Usain Bolt. At the age of 16, Gout became the fastest 200-meter runner in Australian history, breaking records that had stood for decades. Even more impressive, he did it while balancing schoolwork, remaining committed to his family, and never letting the fame or pressure affect him. Let's take a deeper look at the records Gout has already shattered. He holds the Australian under-16 records for both the 100 meters in 10.57 seconds and 200 meters in 20.87 seconds. At just 15, he claimed the Oceania U18 title in the 200 meters. And by 16, he had become one of the fastest teens in the world, breaking Peter Norman's long-standing national 200-meter record. But Gout isn't just about setting records. In 2024, he clinched the 100-meter title at the Australian U20 Championships, running a time of 10.48 seconds. That same year, he claimed silver in the 200 meters at the World U20 Championships in Lima. This isn't just fast, it's history in the making. His 200-meter time of 20.02 seconds at the Golden Spike meet was a new personal best, adding fuel to the fire of the immense expectations surrounding him. The comparisons to Usain Bolt are hard to ignore. I mean, we're talking about the 8-time Olympic gold medalist, the man whose name is synonymous with speed. Gout has been compared to Bolt since his very first breakthrough moments on the track. And it's no surprise when you watch Gout race, his stride, his posture, and the sheer speed he carries with each step are reminiscent of Bolt's prime. But Gout isn't focused on being the next Usain Bolt, he's focused on being the first Gout Gout. As Gout himself says, being compared to Usain Bolt feels great, but I'm just trying to be me. I'm making my own name. It's this mindset that sets him apart from just being another Bolt-like runner. He's carving out his own legacy. But here's the thing, being a 17-year-old sprinting sensation isn't just about running fast. For Gout, it's also about dealing with the realities that come with fame and expectations. And it's not just the pressure of international competition. Gout has spoken openly about his experience with racism. Despite his success and the admiration he receives from fans worldwide, he's also faced harsh criticism and judgment from some people in Australia. He's shared that sometimes people look at him differently because of his heritage. Gout, who was born in Australia to South Sudanese parents, said, "Sometimes people look at you differently. It's not always easy." It's a harsh reality that many fans may not understand, but it's something Gout deals with every day. On the business side of things, Gout's meteoric rise in the sport has attracted huge sponsors. He recently signed a groundbreaking multi-million-dollar deal with Adidas, earning him over $6 million. The contract, which extends through the 2032 Brisbane Olympics, places him among the top athletes in terms of sponsorship deals. But even with the millions rolling in, Gout isn't living the extravagant lifestyle that you might expect. He still drives a simple car. Why? He doesn't want people to treat him differently. "I drive a simple car because I don't want people to look at me like I'm something special," Gout explained. "I want to stay grounded, to stay true to who I am." It's this humility that continues to make Gout not just an amazing athlete, but a role model for young athletes everywhere. Looking ahead, Gout has big plans. He's set to compete at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo this September, where he'll face off against the world's best. After that, he's eyeing the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, where he'll be 20 years old, prime age for a sprinter to hit their peak. And then there's the 2032 Brisbane Olympics, where the pressure will be even greater. Gout is expected to be one of Australia's poster boys, with hopes of double gold in the 100 meters and 200 meters. But it's not just about the medals, it's about the legacy he's creating. He's already become a beacon of hope for aspiring athletes, and his story is only just beginning. Even with all his success, Gout continues to face challenges off the track, especially in the form of racism. He's had to deal with people questioning his identity and whether he's really Australian despite being born and raised in Queensland. The racism he faces on social media and in public life is a stark reminder that even our greatest athletes don't escape the ugly realities of society. But Gout, supported by his family and fans, continues to rise above it. His focus remains on his goals, and he's determined to prove himself on the global stage. So, what's next for Gout Gout? Well, it's clear that this 17-year-old is just getting started. With a World Championship debut looming and the 2028 and 2032 Olympics on his radar, Gout's journey will be one to watch for years to come. But remember, while his sprinting ability may seem superhuman, it's his resilience, humility, and strength in the face of adversity that make Gout Gout the true champion he is. His story is about more than just running fast. It's about staying grounded, overcoming obstacles, and paving the way for future athletes to follow. Noah Lyles just did the unthinkable, beating the Olympic champ in the final seconds and making track history in the process. But what happened at the finish line left everyone in shock. Noah, an American sprint star who already held multiple world titles and had a personal best of 19.31 seconds in the 200 meters, had a unique target. He was going for a 6th straight Diamond League final win in the 200, a feat no other track athlete had ever pulled off. His rival across the field was none other than Olympic champion Letziel Tebogo, the young legend from Botswana who had stunned the world by beating Noah in the Olympic 200 final. Tonight's race wasn't just another contest. It was poised to be a showdown where past pain met burning ambition. This was more than a sprint. This was a mental battle. Everyone watching knew the storylines. They knew Lyles had been dominant in the Diamond League, but had fallen short when it mattered most at the Olympics. And Tebogo, he was the new face of speed. Calm under pressure, with a stride so relaxed it looked effortless even at top speed. It was a clash of eras, of mentalities, of two runners with everything to prove. When the gun went off, Tebogo leapt ahead. His smooth, powerful stride carried him just ahead as they rounded the bend. It looked eerily similar to the Olympic replay. Tebogo out front, calm, collected. But Noah wasn't about to repeat the mistakes of the past. He wasn't panicking. He remembered every stride, every fall, every moment that led him here. The crowd got even louder as the runners reached the last part of the race. Then, like a flash, Noah started running even faster. With his body leaning forward and every part of him pushing hard, he focused completely on the finish line. Right at the last second, he passed Tebogo and won the race just barely by only 0.02 seconds, finishing in 19.74 seconds. 19.74, practically flying. And with that, Noah clinched his 6th consecutive Diamond League final victory in the 200. No athlete before had ever made it 6. Suddenly, the record book felt different because he was in it alone. But what made this race even more remarkable was what you couldn't see on the stopwatch. It wasn't just about the time, it was about timing. Noah timed that final push with the precision of a sniper. He didn't lead the whole way. He stalked his opponent, waited, and attacked at the exact moment when the world thought Tebogo had it sealed.